Another episode of the InNOLEvation Mindset podcast, powered by the Moran College of Entrepreneurship. I am Mark McNees, your host, and in studio today, we have ReNita Bowman, the founder and CEO of We Made It. Hey, ReNita, how are you doing? And thanks for coming in. Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mark, for having me today. My name is ReNita Bowman, and I am the founder and owner of We Made It Tallahassee. And we are a full-service janitorial company where we offer services for residential and commercial companies, in addition to post-construction cleanup and Airbnbs.
Oh, wow. That's
Yes.
great. So how long have you been doing that, and what got you into that?
We'll be celebrating our 5th year on this
Congratulations.
Thursday, as
Oh,
a matter of fact.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. And what kind of catapulted me into the cleaning industry, I used to do cleaning on the side as a little side hustle. And people would call me and say, hey, I got my mother-in-law coming. Can you come clean a bathroom? Or I have guests coming. Can you help me clean up? And so I would do that like on the weekends. And my friends and family would always say, you need to start a cleaning company. But I was working in state government, and
Okay.
I would always say, I don't have time. And once COVID hit March of 2020,
Okay.
and working in state government, we all got sent home
Okay.
with an undetermined time of when we would return. So that time that I didn't have, I had then. And so I just started researching, how can I start my cleaning company?
Right.
And that's what I did. And I launched April of 2020. And like I said, we're getting ready to celebrate our 5th year on Thursday, and we're happy about that.
Congratulations.
Thank
5
you.
years is a big number. 3 years is a really big number because that's the mark, and then 5 years is a huge number. So that's really exciting.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I
on
appreciate that.
So tell us a little bit about your upbringing. Did you have entrepreneurial influences, or was it just your friends saying that, hey, you should start your business? Where do you think your entrepreneurial spirit came from? And yeah.
Sure. I was born and raised in Gaston County in Quincy, Florida, and my father was an entrepreneurial person. He was a businessman.
Okay.
And he had a shoe repair
Oh,
business.
fun.
So people would come in the community and bring their shoes. If they wanted their shoes dyed a different color, for women, if the heels or the taps had fallen off, the straps broken, or the buckles or something like that.
Okay.
He was an excellent shoe repairman. And he learned that trade by working under someone else. And once he got good at it, he opened up his own shoe repair business, Bowman's Repair Shoe Company in Quincy.
Great.
And so he did that for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
And as a little girl, I would often go into my dad's shoe shop and just watch him day to day. That's how I learned how to count money. He would put me on the cash register, and I would make change. That's how I learned customer service. He taught me to say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir, to his customers.
Right.
Seeing my dad be a businessman, that taught me a lot. So everything that I'm doing, he's my why of what I'm doing today, because I learned it firsthand from him.
Oh, what a great story. How cool. What a great legacy that is. I'm
Yes.
sure he's very proud of you.
Thank you.
So you worked in state government.
I did.
What did you do in state government?
I worked with the state of Florida for 17 years in human resources.
Okay.
And I actually thought that was going to be my little ride to retirement, because I had done it for so long and thought that was where I was going to be. But when things happened, like I said, with COVID, and in the beginning, it was fun. We checked in once a week with a Zoom call.
Right.
And I thought that, okay, eventually we'll go back to work. But after so many months had transpired, I was like, I got to find something else to do, just to make sure that my family stayed aboard of water. So I was like, okay, like I said, that time that I didn't have, I'm like, I would get up every morning just as I was going to work. And I would get on my computer, my laptop, and research how to get a website, how to start a business, how to get business insurance, because I didn't have a mentor, and I couldn't afford one, to be honest with you. So and YouTube University has everything already out there. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's someone already doing what you're looking to do. You just have to find your lane and your space.
Oh, that's great work.
Yeah, so that's what I did. I saw other entrepreneurs out there doing cleaning businesses and watched them and saw their content and how they showed up on social media. And so I took all of that and thought of a name. There's 1,000 names I could have came up with, but I chose We Made It Tallahassee, and I put the spin on Maid with MAID. And so that was in my little way of giving my kudos to my parents to say, look, Mom and Dad, I made it, we made it, to make them so that they could be proud of me and what I'm doing and trying to blaze my own trail.
That's so cool. I was going to ask, I love your name.
Thank you.
And We Made It Tallahassee, and we made it. And just, I thought it's so powerful, right? And it's so affirming and things like that. So I was going to ask you about it. So thank you. I was going to, but thank you for sharing about that. And,
You're welcome.
And that's really cool that it's a nod to your parents too.
It is,
that's
absolutely.
Wonderful.
Yes.
That's wonderful. You said you do several different things. You do construction cleanup, you do Airbnb, you do move in, move out. Am I missing something?
And we do the deep cleans with the residential.
Deep cleans with residential. Okay.
Yes.
So tell me about you told us a little bit about starting your business. Tell us about like when you went all in, and what were some of the challenges that you faced, and what were some of the things that were good that you didn't expect?
Oh, great question. When I initially started, I started out as a solo cleaner. So I did it all. I answered the phones, I booked appointments, I did the consultations, and then I would show up and do the cleaning.
Okay.
So I was a one-woman show in the real sense of doing everything from start to finish. And then I would follow up with the customers to get the feedback, to see how they felt about the cleaning. And if anything went awry, then I would make sure I try to fix it. Right. And so I did that for the first 2 years. And then as the word got out and I got more referrals, I was like, okay, I need some more hands. I need more help. And so I hired 3 technicians to help me. That's what I call my staff technicians, cleaning technicians. And so I was able to scale and grow my business by hiring some really nice ladies that helped me with my day-to-day operations and with the appointments and schedules. Yeah.
So when you think about your business and scaling your business, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Let's start with what have been some of the things that didn't necessarily come instinctual or natural to you that you had to go and on YouTube or something like that and learn? Was it the accounting side? Was it the marketing side? What was those things that kind of stretched you and made you a better business person?
I would say the pricing aspect of it.
Oh, interesting. Tell us more about that.
The pricing, yeah. Because for some potential clients, they've never had any dealings with a cleaning company. So it's brand new to them. They don't know what to expect. They don't know what we clean, and they don't know what we charge. So for them, that's a learning curve. And I'm always welcome to provide the information because I know it's their first time. And for some people who have already experienced a cleaning company, and if that cleaning company gave them a certain price, they may expect that price to be for everyone that they come in contact with. And that's not always the case. Correct. So as it pertains to pricing, that has been one of the biggest, you asked earlier about the biggest challenges. Yeah. I would say the pricing aspect would be.
So what have you done to, I guess, grow in that area and establish systems or parameters? What have been some of your best influences and ways to learn how to do that better?
Absolutely. What we do now is we just made some updates on our website, and we changed our pricing model where we do upfront pricing. Okay. So there's no surprises on the back end. So the customer knows once they call and they tell us what type of services they're looking for, they're given a quote right then, so they'll know, and then they can make a determination on whether or not they want to go all the way through and book an appointment, or if perhaps it's not in their budget, in which we understand. If the pricing model is outside of their budget, then at least they'll know upfront whether or not they want us to do business with us. Okay. So that's something we changed.
All right. Interesting. Cool. So when you think about, on the other side, unexpected kind of benefits or pluses by starting your own business, what's something that surprised you as being a founder and CEO of a company that's been like, oh, wow, I didn't expect this. This is great?
The flexibility is what I enjoy the most. Working in state government, it's Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And the only time that you get off is the holidays. Personal time, not so much. It has to be scheduled around everyone else's schedule just to maintain staffing. But the flexibility of being a business owner is one of the things that I cherish the most. I'm a parent. I'm a single parent. I have children. Even though they're adults, it now gives me the flexibility to travel and see my family when I need to. If I want to take some days off with me and my staff, we're able to do it. And so that's the biggest thing that I really appreciate, that aspect of it, to be flexible and create a schedule that works best for me.
That's fantastic. I know that you were part of the Jim Moran Institute Small Business Executive Program. When did you go through that? And tell us a little bit about that. What did you learn? What did you like about it? What helped you?
Absolutely. The Jim Moran Institute, the Small Business Executive Program, was so jam-packed with information. And one of the resounding themes that we had going through the sessions is that you don't know what you don't know. And every speaker that was lined up that presented information to us, our class, everything that they presented was things that I did not know. And after I finished the class and I was talking to some other classmates, I jokingly said to them, my business is raggedy compared to what I just found out. And you're comparing apples to oranges, and you think you have this well-oiled machine for your business, and then you look at it and say, okay, I never thought about what happens if I don't want to do We Made It Tallahassee anymore. What happens? I can't pass it down because nobody in my family wants to do it. Then what do you do? And a presenter presented that information. I never thought about that. Yeah. How do you make sure your staff is happy? Because if the staff ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. You got to take that into consideration. So they pointed out so many nuggets and shared with us so much information to make me go back home and to look at my business model and say, am I operating at my best potential? And if I'm not, they've given me key points that I need to go back and refocus on. So my homework, 1 month after completing the class, I went back and went over all my notes, started implementing some of the strategies that they shared with us, because the end result is, I'm a small business owner, but I want to be the best at what I'm doing. You know, and so these things that I didn't know that I should know, I'm now incorporating those things into my business and my day-to-day operations.
No, that's fantastic. Thanks for sharing that. So what are some things about your business that keep you up at night and kind of worry you?
Oh, man. Customer satisfaction is key, and doing a good job each and every time. Cleaning is something you can learn, but it also is different. Everybody does it differently. And so the things that keeps me up at night is just making sure that customer contact is on point, that I'm listening to the customers, and that we're delivering excellence every time we enter our customer's home. Because when you think about it, when a customer calls us and books an appointment with us, we're strangers. Exactly. And so when anytime you invite strangers into your home, that's a big deal. And oftentimes we're in places where you can't put everything away because this is where you live. This is your abode. Right. So oftentimes you may see jewelry, you'll see money laying out there, pets are in the home. And so when you incorporate all of that and you're inviting me and my staff, I take that very seriously when we enter into your home. Right. My staff has been vetted. They've been background checked and fingerprinted as well. Okay. So that gives and when I share that with the customers, they're like, okay, they may not be totally at ease, but at least to know I took that step to make sure that when we come into your home, you know, that those steps have been taken and we treat your home just like it's ours, not to sound cliche-ish, but to go in, do a great clean, and then give you your home back so that when you walk back in, you know that we've been there and we've done a great job.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Hey, tell me about a time that you got a customer compliment that meant a lot to you, and why do you think it meant so much to you?
One of the services, and I didn't mention this on the onset, one of the services that we offer is one of the services I termed as compassion cleaning. Okay. And it falls under the guidelines of what you would think where it requires heavy duty or extra cleaning. And I initially started that service and had it termed under another name, but I didn't like the negative connotation that it had. So I changed the name from that to Compassion Cleaning. And so that particular service, when customers call us and need that service, we go out into the home and we make it livable again.
Okay. Sorry.
Yes.
So what is compassionate cleaning? Tell me a situation that you would offer that service.
Sure. If a customer calls and they may have excessive clothing, boxes, newspaper, trash, and it prohibits them to move freely throughout the home.
Okay.
And it's substandard. It's not sanitary.
Okay.
So it falls under that guideline.
Okay.
And it's unfortunate, but some customers reality. And so we, like I said, I term that compassion cleaning. And so we go back out to make the home livable.
Okay.
We do clean up the trash. We go through the food. Anything expired, we toss it and really do an extra deep clean on it just to make it livable for the clients and for the customers.
Okay.
And so that particular service means the world to me when a customer hires us for that. And the feedback that we get from that is that one particular client, her father-in-law just wasn't able to do it. And that's one of the things I've learned in being on this side as an entrepreneur. When people call us for services, it doesn't necessarily mean that they can't clean, don't know how to clean. They just don't have the time, or they may not have the ability to do it. So that's where we step in and say, okay, the time that you don't have, we can do that for you. And do it in a couple of hours. We're in and out, and we give you your home back. Nice. So the feedback that she got, where we were able to go in and do a real good deep clean for her father-in-law, by the time he got out of the hospital and he came back home, they were in tears. Oh. And she gave us good feedback, a great review, and just said how much that meant to them. They didn't know where to look. They just got on Google and searched cleaning companies, and here we are. She reached out to me, and we were able to go in and do a real good clean to give her father-in-law a habitable residence when he came home.
Oh, that's a beautiful story. That's awesome and meaningful too. My parents about a year ago moved out of their home into a assisted living situation, and just as a son, just knowing that there's people there to care for them and to help them in the things that they necessarily may not be able to do anymore is great.
Yeah, and that makes you feel good, knowing that you have that level of care for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So, wonderful. On the flip side, when you think about the future of We Made It, are you satisfied where you are and this is where you want to keep it, or is this something that you want to continue growing and hire people and things like that, or franchises? What's your vision for the future?
My vision for We Made It Tallahassee is to continue to grow. I don't think I'll necessarily go down the franchise route, but just to be able to extend more services for Tallahassee and the surrounding areas. I love what we do. I love our customer base. I love the before and after pictures that we put out on social media to show people our level of work. And that just would be my heart's desire, to continue to grow and be able to accommodate more clients when they call us.
What do you think is it demand that's the roadblock right now, or is it training and finding good people? What are the things that you think may be a hindrance to taking that next step in the growth of your business?
I think it's both. Finding qualified cleaners. I take that real seriously when I bring someone on board, just to make sure it's a two-way street, that they enjoy what you do, because you got to love it. You got to love cleaning. You got to be good at it when you come in. It's not a thing where you can say, I'm good on Monday, but Friday I suck. Yeah. You got to be good every day of the week, because that's the level of expectation that the customers are looking for. It's that, and then it's also just being able to accommodate the customer base. We are growing. I went from, like I said, as a solo cleaner with just one family, and now here we are almost 5 years later, and we have over 150 customers.
Oh, wow.
That
Congratulations.
Thank you, 150 customers that we service, from monthly clients, bi-weekly clients, our Airbnbs, and then federal contracts that we're looking at.
Oh, wow.
So we're growing.
Yeah.
And like I said, the key to it is keeping the growth at the level where we are now, so we're not overwhelmed. We're open 6 days a week, but we don't clean an 8-hour day. And that was another thing I had to consider. When it was just me, it was okay that I cleaned however many hours a day I was able to do it.
Right.
But just for the fact that it's a laborious job. We're doing baseboards, we're ceiling fans, we're doing windows, we sweeping, mopping bathrooms, we're doing the whole nine. And you just think when you do that day in and day out, it takes a toll on you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so in consideration of my staff, we don't do 8-hour days, we do part-time hours. And so we have a reduced schedule so that we can do quality work.
Okay.
So that's the difference in it as well. And the scheduling that we do.
Interesting. Yeah. Cleaning's hard work.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
I promise you, Mark, it is.
I know it is. I
Yes,
know
it is.
it is. It's hard. When you think about the marketing of your business and things like that, what do you think some of the best ways that people have heard about you, I guess? Is it Google reviews? Is it word of mouth? How do you feel like your marketing or how our people are finding out about you?
That's a great question. We're on all social media platforms. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we're on TikTok.
You're on TikTok.
Yes.
Do you do little TikTok dances?
I tried. I don't do the dances. But we're out there, and I put together little content videos and the reels with the music in the background, showing our work, because that's what customers want to see. Right. When they call a cleaning company, I can talk to you over the phone, but what does your work look like? And so that was my focus. I don't know how other cleaning companies do it. I wanted my company to be before and after. Okay. Before and after.
Love it.
This is how it looks when we walked in, and this is how it looks now after we came and did our fabulous work. So that's how I present my company. And just being on social media, we have word of mouth as well. And so it's a combination of the both. When people say, hey, my neighbor told me she used you all, and I'm interested in it as well. I appreciate all the customers and not customers. People just know that ReNita cleans houses, and they may not have ever used We Made It Tallahassee, but they know of us and they refer us. And to those, I greatly appreciate those types of referrals, giving our name out there, and they've never used our services. So that means a lot as well.
No, that's awesome. Which platform do you like the most? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok? Which one do you think, I guess, is the most effective for you?
For me, it's been Facebook.
Okay.
We have a Facebook business page out there. We Made It Tallahassee, and I do the same thing, keep it updated with pictures, reviews, what have you. And so 90% of my customers, and I've learned now to ask them, if someone calls me, how did you find us? Okay. And when they say, okay, I saw your ad on Facebook, seldom they'll say, like I say, Instagram or TikTok. But the majority of my customers, they come from Facebook. Okay. And so I know then to put more ads out there because that's where the majority of the customers are seeing us on.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Very cool. At the end of every episode, I like to ask my guest if they could tell themselves one thing. They could go back, in your case, 5 years, and tell yourself one thing before you started We Made It. What would you tell yourself?
I would tell myself to delegate.
Oh.
To delegate.
Tell me more.
In the beginning, like I said, when I started off, I did it all. I booked the appointments, I answered the phone, I did the walkthroughs, went and bought the products, showed up, did the cleaning, followed up with the customer with the feedback, and then the next day, all over again. And that is an incredible burden to bear as an entrepreneur. Sometimes people think that when you say, I'm a one-woman show and I do it all, that you can relish in that, and that for some people that they feel good about that. But if I could go back, and 5 years ago, this week, I'm getting ready to launch, I would make sure I had systems in place where I could delegate those duties, because it was a struggle, and you don't necessarily have to start out like that doing it all. There's no glory to me now when I look back and saying, okay, I'm doing, and I made a Facebook post and said, okay, I'm doing this, and it's just me. but it was a struggle behind the scenes, trying to keep that aboard. And so I would say delegate. There's people out there already doing these things. Find someone to schedule, to answer the phone for you. Find someone to make your appointments. Find someone to go out and do your walkthroughs, or find someone to follow up with your customers. And doing all of that as one person for that long, it was draining. It was a lot, and it was a struggle. And again, like I said, there's no glory in the struggle when it doesn't have to be. So I would say delegate.
That's a great word and great advice. We have a lot of starting entrepreneurs who listen to this podcast, and I'm going to tell you guys that is really good advice. Learn the hard way, I can tell. Learn the hard way, but those are the best lessons, I think, that we learn. We learn them hard, and so take heed on that. And ReNita, just best of success to you in your future, and sounds amazing. And
thank you.
If you would get me all your social media handles so I could put it in the show notes so people can find you, that would be great.
Absolutely. And I appreciate the opportunity to come and talk about We Made It Tallahassee. And as we are getting ready to wrap up, if I may.
Yes, please.
I just wanted to send my condolences out to the university. The events that transpired last Thursday, I know it has shaken our community up. My heart goes out to the victims, to those who have been injured, to the administration, the faculty, and the students, and what transpired. I also saw the role that you played in it with your students on Thursday, and how you made sure that they got to safety in the rooms. And because of your brave acts and law enforcement and how they descended on the campus to be able to provide support for those that needed it, just to give my condolences to the family in their loss, and to the community. As an alumni, it really pricked my heart to see that. And now here we are 4 days later, first day back on campus. And I just wanted to extend my condolences to the families, my heartfelt prayers to those who are still going through it. And like I said to you again, in the role that you play with your students.
I appreciate that. I'm tearing up a little bit. Yeah, it was a tough day, and we were on Landis when the shots fired, and it was weird walking through Landis today, coming toward the studio and seeing where we were. And then I was walking up the steps, and a young lady had fallen. At that point, I didn't know if she was shot or just fell, and it was really tough. And then I had 16 students in this studio, hunkered down for 3 hours. And when I walked in, obviously nothing was set up like this. We had to push everything aside and everything, and we didn't clean up when we left. And it was like really shocking when I walked in here, and it was just like, you hear about stuff like that, and you never think it's gonna happen to you, and you don't know how you're going to respond when it does happen. But I appreciate you saying that, and the community's been great walking in. I've been thanking all the police officers who are on campus today. It really does make a difference just having them here, just a sense of safety. And I'm glad, I didn't know if you saw that they have the pet therapy going on Landis.
That's amazing.
So I went over and was petting a big bunny, and they have a little kangaroo and stuff like that. And I don't know if you saw the blood bus that people are giving blood.
I saw it.
It's surreal. It's surreal being back here. Yes. And it's tough. But yeah, I appreciate you saying
Absolutely.
that. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So, best of luck in the future.
Thank you
so much for coming in.
Thank you for the invite. It's been great.
A teary conclusion to a wonderful episode, but hey, we're all living it here at FSU together, and we're coming together as a community. So thank you for tuning in. Hey, if you like this episode, please give us and be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss another amazing episode. And be sure to drop us a comment. We love comments, and we love responding to those. And hey, if you need some cleaning, you know where to go. We made it. All right, we'll see you next time.